Imagine you woke up one morning and had no money. You find your bank account is empty, your credit cards have been canceled, everything on your computer has been erased, and it's all because of a big data breach.
Your financial records, your medical records, your real estate records.
Reports say hackers may have stolen up to 80 million records.
The information of millions of federal workers.
Customers' credit and debit cards were hacked.
For 83 million account holders at JP Morgan Chase.
A major data breach at Target.
Good morning. We've all seen news stories like this. They seem to come out on a weekly basis these days. Some of your companies may have been impacted, but we've all been affected by cybercrime in one way or another. We're here to talk about how we can better secure your networks, create a new revenue stream for you, and better protect your subscribers' cyber identity. Hi, I'm Wendell Brown, and I'm chairman of Cloudwear, where we've assembled a great team of security experts from Google, from Microsoft, from SpaceX, and other companies. And earlier this year at TED on the main stage in Vancouver, we first introduced our technology, and we also presented it at TechCrunch, as well as, of course, here today at CableLabs. So geolocation is an important factor in security. Did you know that up to 98% of attacks in America come from overseas? And if we can validate where the user is coming from, we can better filter out the bad guys. The problem is, as you may know, VPNs can be spoofed, and even on some mobile phones, they can manually be set to report any location that the user wants. So these existing solutions are vulnerable and can be hacked. So here's our innovation. We call it verified geolocation. And what it's all about is getting the user's location not from the user's device or from the user himself, but from a verified third-party network. So we've signed partnerships with top wireless carriers, and here's how it works. When a user's mobile phone, he first opts into our system. He then connects the mobile phone, of course, to the cell phone towers. Those cell phone towers then, of course, report the location to the network carriers, and then we get that user's location directly from the network carriers. So that's different than how GPS works. We get the tower location where the user's at. So as I said, we've already put partnerships in place with wireless carriers. We're adding other data as well. But what we're here today to talk to you about is adding your network of cable modems and the cable systems so we can add more than 56 million subscribers into our network. It's a product that we call CyberID. And CyberID then takes in that location information, and that's how we productize it. So CyberID is a security risk assessment platform that produces a confidence score from 0 to 1,000 that reflects the authenticity of an internet transaction. Now, some of you are probably familiar with FICO scores and credit scores. It works similar to that, but we believe this approach can be also applied to preventing cybercrime as well. Now, the strength of the network grows as there's more data in the network. So we want to add as many networks as possible, and of course, that's why we're talking with you today. So let me introduce you to Ed, and he'll show you how it works.
Thank you, Wendell. So we use many signals to calculate CyberID score. CyberID is a big data solution that takes into account many real-time signals, such as geolocation and cell type, as well as historical data, and then all are input to a proprietary scoring algorithm that generates the CyberID score. The score is then delivered through an application programming interface that is available to online services, merchants, and credit card processors to fight against cyber fraud. So what I'm going to go and show you here is a checkout experience that uses CyberID to fight against cyber fraud. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this Apple Watch. And I'm going to input my information, my credit card number, and expiration date, and process the payment. As you see, it's trying to calculate my Cyber ID score, and it detected that it was a low Cyber ID score, and the payment got rejected. So let's see what happened under the hood. So a hacker attempted to process an eBay transaction with a stolen credit card on eBay servers. As soon as eBay receives the request, it starts a verification process with our API. And as soon as we receive the request, we geolocate the authorized phone of the credit card holder through our wireless network. And we also send you a request to your API to geolocate the origin of the request using the IP in the port, the external IP in the port. Comcast here was used as an example. And then as soon as the location of the request is determined, then we see that they are different, and a low Cyber ID score was generated, and the payment got rejected. So the fraud has been prevented, and the cost saving of that fraud can translate into value for Cyber ID and its partners. So the most important thing to take away from this slide and the presentation in general is that we did not use GPS location. We did not use the location data that we got did not come from the device, user device, or anything that user was controlling that can potentially, a hacker can spoof. The location of the mobile phone came from the towers, from the carrier network, and the location of the request came from your network. So let's see an example of a legitimate request with a higher Cyber ID. So same thing, I just changed so that it would actually become a legitimate request. So again, I input my credit card information. So this time, the higher Cyber ID was generated, a score was generated, and my identity was verified. So let's see what happened this time under the hood. So again, a verified cable subscriber started a credit card transaction. This one was valid, but anyway, eBay starts a verification process with Cloudwear. We geolocate the phone and also ping your API to geolocate the request. Everything matches up. Higher Cyber ID score was generated, and the payment got approved. So Cyber ID is a universal solution. It's an API. It can work with any platform, with any language, and any device.
All right, great. Thank you, Ed. So as I mentioned, we've entered into partnerships already with America's top wireless carriers, but now we're here to integrate with your networks as well. So in summary, we can better secure your networks, we can create a new revenue stream for you, as well as better protect your subscriber cyber identity. We're Cloudwear, and we look forward to seeing you in our booth at Tech Stadium. Thank you very much.